You know, so it's like you're just creating these stories for 2 seconds.
So now is he just on Facebook?
No, he's at the, it's on Marcy's. We're actually now switching time, allowing. Yeah, no, this is our, we're actually going to alpha mode.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
we moved from beta into.
Alright, well, welcome back to Verbum. So, Tess here, and what some of you may have known, if you didn't hear off camera, we're just kind of talking about the next upcoming weeks, and we're kind of going into planning mode, is kind of what it is that we're going to be doing, and we're going to be talking a lot about that tonight. We may just decide to cut it short. We're just kind of, we're coming into a good time.
And you know, and I think it's probably going through it myself. I think it's good for a small business. There are times where you just need to stop and sort of regroup, and because you don't always have time during the course of years and everything that needs to be done.
100%. And we're calling it retooling, right? Because I mean, all the factories around here, they shut down and retool for the new model year, right?
Exactly.
So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be retooling over the next couple of weeks. And really what that means is this. Next week, we're having a renewal event. That's going to be a lot of fun. I think I'm kind of really glad to kind of kick this off, and I really think I'm going to love the idea of not having to stream for a couple weeks and do maybe another big community event in October, where it's maybe a festival of some sort. It's like a party, a holiday party, planning to succeed next year or something like that. So we'll talk more about that tonight, but
yeah, you didn't give me a topic today.
it was actually preparation, and I'm with it, and I don't even know if
Pull the mics closer.
I'm not even sure that maybe I didn't even put it in the system, but it was really just about preparation, and that's kind of exactly what it is we're talking about. And what I wanted to do tonight was really just kind of look at the idea of renewal and the heart of what renewal was. What was tonight's? I asked you to change
Retooling.
retooling, but what was the
Retooling with a...
Did you have it in production? Did you make the change? Oh, you didn't say it. Okay. So it was like, retooling for anyways. So, but yeah, so tonight, that's what I just want to talk about what it means to retool. And again, we're heading into the Entrepreneur Week next week, so, and largely geared toward women, which is funny. I was actually thinking about this earlier, and people don't know this. Like, okay, right now, we are about 78% male, 72% male, 28% female. I'm like, that's just not acceptable. So we, I'm like, that's just not acceptable. So it's funny, I was on YouTube, I'm like, that's it. We're gonna get some more women.
I have a couple of, actually they're sisters, and Tish, they're gonna come this week. And I'm gonna interview them, and the sisters, one of them, her name is Katrina, she used to work for me at U of R. And I hadn't seen her in a long time, and then when I go on Facebook, I see this picture of her with this exercise equipment, and find out she's got this gym thing going, and she's lining people up. So she's going to come on and talk about her business too. Yeah, so.
So now, and you've got two other, are we going to?
Oh, Tish is one.
Okay,
Tish
good,
is gonna
good.
come. And then Katrina's sister, unbeknownst to me, she came to one of our Voters Walk meetings.
Okay.
And she sells jewelry. So she came to do a presentation at Voters Walk, and I kept thinking to myself, I know that voice.
What do we know?
I was hearing Katrina's voice. And then I said, are you Katrina's sister? And she said, yes. So she's going to come.
Oh, cool.
And talk about a little bit about her business.
Okay, so there's another young lady that we met a couple weeks ago, and I just don't remember her name. She's got a jewelry store somewhere over in like Genesee. She's moving over to over Maine and Union area somewhere. I can't remember exactly what she told me. But she called me today, and she's going to be coming out, and she just kind of wants to get introduced. And I was like, yeah, we'll make the introduction. And basically, like a 15-minute plan with her is to like, hey, how can she get involved? She loves what's going on. So I invited her out. Sure, I won't be on the show, but maybe we can coax her on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a little fun with it.
We'll do like Nareda.
Yeah.
To tag and I'll take care of her.
So Nareda, October, I'm going to say it's pretty well confirmed.
Yes.
But it looks like the week before her grand opening, we're going to do like a friends and family type event.
Oh, I'm so
Right.
happy.
And it'll be a lot of fun. So that's what we're like, whether or not, again, we're going to decide whether we want to just have fun with it, maybe do an open mic night, and I think that'd be a little more fun.
Less formal, because
Yes.
sometimes when we get wacky,
Yes.
things are really good.
Yeah, exactly. I think exactly. Much less formal. If we want to set it up, great. If we can't, great, whatever. I don't know if you saw the post. I want to work on a spoken word night that I thought would be a lot of fun.
Okay.
What I want to do is use our Take One program, right? And I want to ask the contestants to come in, and they need to create an original piece that includes the words "Take One" and talks about encouraging personal growth, right? And then what we'll do is exactly. So that's kind of their challenge, and if they do that, then they can do an original piece. Then we'll do like maybe a little voting on the original, and then they can come up and we'll do a little like and we'll give like $100 prize or something for whoever, because we want to make it about being encouraging.
How are you recruiting them?
I just put a thing on Facebook yesterday, so I've got to find some. Thank you.
Well, you should send a note because I've been communicating with him for the gift.
He was on Amanda's show.
On Amanda's
Yep.
show, and I went to his monthly spoken word thing that he had.
He called me a couple weeks ago, and I haven't heard from him. So
Well,
if
he's
you,
been shooting there.
yeah, that's right, that's right.
And I know he's going down to Atlanta, but he would be a great person because there were about 6 or 7 people that got jobs and presents and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I think he'd be perfect. I think, and if we can make that work for no rate, it's great. But I'm half thinking I might want to do that more into November. I think it would be kind of a fun festive fall night or something. And then we're doing another thing on November 1st with Christopher Williams, Gamers Nostalgia.
I didn't have a chance to read it because I was busy today, but I did kind of glance through it and I thought it was something that.
We're having like another neighborhood cleanup, but we're going to encourage parents to come with their younger children in their costumes from the night before, because it was Halloween. And we're going to ask them to go out and do a 1-hour cleanup of the streets. Then we're going to go to Gamers Nostalgia, and for people who don't know that, that's like an arcade that has all the old Atari games in it, and no, he's over like the Culver Merchant area.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna go over there, have some pizza, and we're gonna have Civics 01, right? And it's why we vote, like a little 5-minute class, something just really fun and for the kids. Why we vote and make good choices. Like do a little thing like that.
What we really look for is to actually interview the children. Just interview them and ask them why you vote.
Yeah, I think that. I think
Because I
it'd be.
know my grandkids' school during the last, I don't know if it was the first administration of President Obama's administration or the second, they had elections in the schools, in the elementary school. So the kids actually voted in school.
That's fun.
And then they
Yeah, we'll have to think through some of this stuff. And so I was going to ask you, like, I don't know if you or Barbara or some, one of the other ladies, I'd love to have the Voters Walk represented and teach the Civics 01 class, however we would do that.
Alright.
But I think it just makes sense, right, to have one of you guys over there. But if not, maybe you guys could create the curriculum and I could deliver it. Curriculum sponsored by Voters Walk. Presented by Chuck from Teachers. Oh yeah, it's all good stuff. But yeah, so we've got that going on. Then we got, do we know the exact date yet for your
No,
first
I
one?
told him at this past Thursday's meeting that we needed a date, so we're still working on that. Because Pam wasn't at the meeting, and Pam is coordinating with the city to bring us the bags.
Oh, and if you need, actually, they called me today, and they said all I need to do is start letting them know the dates that we're doing something.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's already, she works
Okay,
for the
perfect.
city.
Oh,
She's
beautiful,
already- yeah.
beautiful.
So they're gonna
What a
bring
wonderful
tools
woman.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Pamela Reese Smith.
What a nice woman.
So you met her?
I spoke to her on the phone today.
Yeah, I
What
told
a
her
nice
about
woman.
you.
What a nice woman.
She's the one that's kind of getting that off the ground.
Yeah, and the clean sweep. Yep, yeah. So they're going to be, the clean sweep is coming to Joseph this Saturday, along with lovely, Mayor Lovely Warren. She's going to be out there, and that's part of our promotion for the Simply Cash, the new cash checking thing that's come out. Really exciting. I don't know that I can break it yet. Let's just say there was an accidental slip. Micro Enterprise loan.
Okay, I heard that.
Well, no, we're starting to plan some stuff with Lexington right now. That would be your very small business type loans and funding. That
I
kind
know
of
they
stuff.
have those, a lot of those international, right?
Right, they're called Ramin Banks.
Yeah,
Ramin
yeah,
Banks,
yeah.
So we're trying to,
Okay.
2015, maybe we're gonna try to figure out how to deliver those to the community. So it's really kind of exciting piece, and we may talk a little bit about that on Saturday out there. I'm not sure. Chuck will go that far yet.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to start up RIT's program for small businesses. It's called what is it? Keep talking.
Oh yeah, we're good. So yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Capacity building.
Oh,
That's what it's called.
that's and I gotta tell you, so the stuff we're doing with David right now, and we're basically taking his entire structure of social entrepreneurship and building it into the system to help actually manage the whole piece of it.
Oh, okay.
It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
We start bringing all these resources together.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we're doing down in Atlanta, and one of the reasons we're going to try to take a break is we want to take some time and focus on getting more of this.
The technical end of it.
Basically, because right now we're moving quick, we get it in the hands of the people and able to. Now we can all move really quick together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, sometimes you have to, and that's what I was saying, that's sort of what I'm doing this year, is that I'm not traveling, and so it's also giving me an opportunity to kind of see that, well, maybe that traveling was promoting the business, even though it's losing money, because my sales aren't as high as they were last year. But on the other hand, there's just some basic stuff that needed to be done here.
Yes.
And you can't do that if you're pulling yourself a lot of different ways. So.
You actually, that's a piece I think that we're kind of seeing with most of the organizations we're working with right now. It's kind of like you've proved, like people have had these concepts.
Right.
They brought them to model, right? Here's the model. Did it get results? Yes. Can we improve on those results? Yes. Have we learned through the process? Yes. Right? And also we just go through all these very reasonable and logical questions and say, if we're focusing on the result, can we make it better, more efficient, and how do we make it? That's retooling, right?
And given that we don't have much capital.
Much? Yeah, right?
Well, it's
I have
my SCORE mentor, because I work with SCORE when I need to. And I was thinking coming into this year that I really needed to focus on marketing.
Yes.
And one of the things he said to me, he's a great mentor, although in the beginning he said he would not be my mentor, but I kept looking at him and saying, you will be my mentor. And so he is. But he said to me, he says, don't worry about the marketing. Right now you need to focus on increasing your sales and identifying your distribution channels.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is very different.
Yes, they are. And those are the things that we're just so excited to start teaching people about. And so one of the things that we're hoping to come out of our retooling with is our kind of improved studio space.
Yeah.
Right? Where we can begin kind of sharing that knowledge much more quickly. Yeah. Right? So when people come in, they ask a question, we answer it, and we try to and start disseminating that information as quickly as possible to help more and more people grow. Because we've got the resources, we've got the people who can speak to it, you've got the perspective, you've got the experience, you can speak to the truth of these things that you learn, and we just need more people to hear about those processes.
And one of the things that Tish and I have been experimenting with is we decide, I suggested to her, I said, what we should do is we meet once a week. Because I'm further ahead this year, but by us meeting every week, each one of us has to report to the other one.
Yes, accountability.
Like, what is it you're trying to accomplish this week?
Yes.
But because I'm ahead of her, then I can say, well, when you get ready for this step, we need to do this, and this.
And what's interesting, and you would get it if you were in these classes with David right now, is that it's not about ahead or behind. It's everybody has already done different parts of the journey.
Exactly.
Now it's about sequencing and to fill in those spots that you didn't do.
Right.
So it's funny because often, and that's what you're really saying, is like we can mentor one another. Exactly. We can support one another. It's pure support. It's peer support, which is really a wonderful concept, right? Peer support. I like that better than accountability.
Well, that's what it really is. It is an accountability. It's
It is, but it's peer support. I like that term.
We're working with each other, because then if I say I'm going to do something, even though I'm further ahead than her, she still says to me, where's your list? And how far did you get? Did you get your duns done? I just got my duns done. So that I can get in the sand.
Nice.
So,
And that is it. It's like there's all these little things you have to do. But if somebody could help you, here's your checklist, here, support, we can move quickly.
Right.
And so it's kind of, now we need to move to social support, right? And we can grow a little bit quicker. So that's kind of a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing there. So I don't know, so the next couple of weeks, what do you want to do? Okay, so next week's going to be fun. I think we need to make next week, I think next week's got to be everything we can make it
be
big.
like mice going away.
Yeah, and you're right. And as we move into the night, yeah, we should make it a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
So we'll start it a little bit kind of like educational. We'll move to experiential, and then we'll kind of move into having fun. So that's kind of the thought for next week. And I really do. I just ask people, come on out. I mean, we're a good 6 to 8 months into this process. We've got, if people understood what was going on.
I think people have a better idea now.
Yeah.
Than they did 6 months ago. What did they do exactly?
But if everybody understood we're sitting on in Rochester, New York, right? And it's going to happen. And we're sitting around, come on, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun because we're going to be able to have such an impact. And it's not about the money, though that's the purpose because we support ourselves that way. It's about the people. It's about the relationships.
Well, it's about building a community of people who are extremely diverse.
Yes.
In terms of ethnicities, but more importantly, in terms of the types of businesses.
Yeah.
So you have people that are doing different kinds of things, but there's a commonality about it because they're all small businesses, and we're all trying to figure out, well, how can I, like one of the things that I would like to do during my removal period is I haven't been writing.
Yeah.
I haven't been writing at all.
Yeah.
I haven't been writing, and I'm supposed to get one of my books out this year, and I know that's not going to happen, but I have stories that have just sort of gone into my head and not gotten on paper. So,
and for me, I want to go back and reread some of the journey. I've journaled a lot of the past few years, but primarily I want to really at least review this year because there's a real calm and confidence that comes from reviewing the lessons and the experiences that you've learned because you sit there and you go like, wow, I pulled through. You know, because sometimes it's like you're reaching that breaking point. You're like, I pulled through that time, and there's a real strengthening. So I think for during our break here, I've got about 4 or 5 books that I was like, you need to read these, and I agree with them, right? But certainly reading a book while I'm trying to run 1,000 miles an hour.
Well, it's like the person who sits down with your business and says, you need to do this. I know I need to do all
right.
these things, but there's only so many hours in the day. One of the things that I'm really still grappling with is whether or not I want my business to be a lifestyle business, which means I don't want it to get any bigger than let's say this size, or do I hope it blows up so I can sell it off and just keep the trademarks and patents and stuff.
You know, the wonderful thing is you don't have to make that decision today.
I know, but part of the reason that I think about that decision is because of the amount of effort that I have to give. I should say it differently. I've had to let it go right now and just say, for now, lifestyle, if I make a sale today, if the sale comes in, great. If it doesn't, I'm not going to sweat bullets about it.
Yeah. I like that though, lifestyle business. Basically, even, let's put it this way, as long as it's not draining you, it's filling you.
Right.
Because it's something you believe in, it's something you're happy about, and as long as you're able to sustain it, and it's giving, because it gives something back to you.
Right.
That in itself that's a great lifestyle business. I like that term. Lately, I've been really kind of caught up in different terms, and it's funny how like every now and then you hear something, it just creates absolute clarity. Two of the terms that stand out this week, one is minimum viable opportunity. We'll come to that, which is kind of fun. And the other one was message discipline. And I thought it was really interesting. The context that I heard it in doesn't really matter as much as what it means, right? Is having a concise message, an honest, concise, forward-moving message, and having as many people on that same message as possible. And I thought, message discipline, that's something that we need to kind of, so now, right now, as soon as that hit me, I'm like, all right, that's one of the things right now, I don't have that message discipline for you, Udicci. I have too many people out there sharing it without saying the same thing.
Same thing.
Right.
Because everyone's perceiving it in a different way.
Yes.
And so they're relaying to people what they're getting from it, as opposed to we're all saying the same thing.
And I love that, right?
And that's a good thing.
That's right.
And that's why you have the variety of people.
And that's and it's the purpose of the system. So I love that, if you will. And somebody recently said, like, you know what, you guys are I think it was David Days, like, you guys are a solution in need of definition. And I'm like, yes, thank you. And that's kind of peace.
Identify the problem.
So if we can, basically take some time and really start getting that on message, and honestly, what are we talking about? The first 3 to 5 steps of what it is we're able to deliver, that starts the conversation.
You're the rest of us, you're a small business, and so your process is organic.
And we're getting rid of the flies.
I told you, one fly there, 1,000 eggs down here.
Yeah.
But if you're no different than the rest of us. Your path may change a little bit, depending on what happens, and all these people that you're encountering may cause you to rethink how you're doing it and where you want to go. And so you're on the same journey that we're on.
We all are on
That's
that.
what it
And it's
is.
like, wait, how can we work with more? And that's what I love about social entrepreneurship. It's how can I work with more? David and I were just talking about that, which is, we don't have to look at people like competitors.
Right.
In social entrepreneurship, it's like, how can we work with more? And what I love about the idea is, to me, and this goes way into another, it's like the greatest form of wealth redistribution you can find. It's like, hey, I'll help you as long as how far do you want to come? To your point, you want a lifestyle? Hey, great, here's a lifestyle business for you.
I mean, it's like you said, of course we want to make money, but what we're doing here isn't really about making money off of each other.
Right. It's helping, it's creating value in one another.
Right.
And that's the thing, and people, it's a change. The other day I was asked a question like, are you trying to change people's thinking? And when it comes to branding, your job is to have people think of you under certain circumstances, right? So, you're trying to change people's thinking, but why? For their good. So that we can all begin to value the diversity. I mean, the diverse thoughts and experiences coming together have such tremendous value that we just have to open our eyes to one another and go, wow, you just feed me. You just lift me and encourage me, and that's wonderful. And we just have this trust and hope in one another. And it's like, yeah, let's do that.
And I think as a group, then you move forward better. And I think the individual businesses will benefit from it.
100%. And so we're really in a really very enjoyable place. And when I think about all of that, right, and I want to kind of go into next week's renewal program here, and really why renewal to me is such the right thing. And I wish I could really know the.
We're fighting the fly.
Tim's a fly. The quote for renewal, and I always get it wrong, but it's Henry Beecher Stowe, whatever it is. He says, nature desires to, or nature dies in great brilliance. Each green thing loves to or craves to die a glorious death, which I love as an explanation for fall. Because fall is not about death, it's about life. And people who, you gotta look at what's happened is all of the experience from all the previous years. If you're a tree, if I think about this like a tree and all those deep roots and the rings, and we're all, right, and those roots, and they go down and they go down, and they are way, way, way deep in the ground, and they take all of this life that is fed to it from the ground and from the earth, and all of a sudden they shed us. All of their years of experience contained into one little seed. What?
What was the movie when they said something about the galaxy? You know that there was a book and then there was a movie, and they wanted to know what was the question that and then the guy said 12. You know what
That's the answer, it's 12. When I think about that seed, though, right, it has just such massive potential. The school I went to, and I always get this one wrong too, it says like the great oak must from the acorn start. So we are endeavored to become what thou art, right? And that's the seed, right? The seed has such massive potential. That to me is the retooling period. It's taking that seed, it's taking all of that experience, and it's doing your best to compact it into something that you can plant. And for next growing season, for when the ground thaws, all of those leaves that fell to the ground and decayed and provided nutrition back to that seed that fell and started growing, that season, which is next spring, we're ready to come back up. And we're ready to create more.
And we can think of our children that way too.
Absolutely. And we should think of our children that way.
Think of our children.
That's exactly it. Because if we aren't caring about the next generation, we're doing something really wrong. So that is the heart of renewal. And that's what I want next week to be about, is that message which says our experience, our collective good being planted into the ground and growing.
We're gonna do like the board.
The board?
Oh, you're not a Trekkie?
I'm learning, no. I've got to learn a couple of them because I've watched a few things go, okay, this
You
will
are
be
not
fun.
a Trekkie.
No.
Are you a Trekkie, Tim?
Nope. I'm only half geek.
Only half geek.
By the way, we heard
So you
from
don't know
Julian
what the
Tag.
board are either, huh?
No, that's okay. Let me just see if, because Julio and Tag, hey,
Are
there
they
we
going to
go.
show tonight?
Probably not, by the looks of it.
They're at play practice, so
They're doing the play again this year. What is it called? Johnny's Place or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
So they're at play practice tonight, and they texted and said, you know what, we may be running a few minutes late, so they may get here, they may not. But I told them, I said, you want to take the night off? Whatever. We all need some downtime right now, and you know what? They're coming into this time right now that is really a little bit more busy for them. I'd like to make sure I get out to their show this year, so I got to get all those kind of calendar things done. But really looking forward to these next few weeks.
I'm in hyper grandma mode.
Hyper grandma mode, come on! What happened?
But no, when I went to one of the TV stations yesterday, because I told you I literally was hitting the pavement. So I went to one of the TV stations, so the receptionist, she was very good. I didn't want to, because sometimes when you tell people why you're there, they won't let you in. So I'm always kind of vague. Oh, it's really important. So she goes and she comes back out and she says, they said no. She said, but if you told me what it was about, I might be able. So I whispered, I said, okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit of it. So I started talking about my grandson. And so she says, oh, okay, well, I said, do you tell him I'm crying? She said, wait. So she said, I'm not going to lie for you. I said, do you want me to cry?
Because I'm a drama queen. I mean, I'm a drama major.
I can cry. You know, this is
I'm
serious
crying
enough.
inside.
No, this is serious enough that I can cry if you want me to. She said, no, I don't want you to cry. I want you to cry. So I'm in like hyper, like, open this door, talk to me.
I think my son has grandmothers that might do stuff like that. Do you need me to cry? Is that what it's going to take? Do you need me to cry so that I can get something for my grandson?
Well, I gave my daughter that lesson many years ago because it's almost like a double-edged sword. Because I was giving her one message that said, especially if you're in the work environment as a female, don't ever let them see you cry. Because they see men see that as a sign of weakness. But then in relationships and stuff, I said, sometimes you just have to cry. Just cry if you need to. So I do that.
Which is true. And that is, I mean, come on, it's your kids.
Well,
and it's funny.
I have a whole lot of them I can use because I can cry because I'm a female. I can do the senior citizen, disabled thing, especially when I go to an Apple store. Especially when I go to Apple store and I want them to repeat. I go,
Tess in character.
and they'll say,
That's it. We're going to have the many characters of Tess. That's what we'll do. We'll have to come up with all your different characters.
I worked in New York City, we have a terrible, I know it's off tangent, but I gotta tell stories sometimes. But anyway, I had to go to the hospital to see one of my cousins, and I found out she was in the hospital for a year, and I didn't know that. And I flew down there, and I hadn't been in New York in a long time, and I get there, and she's in intensive care, and I said, I need to see my cousin. And the guy looks at me, classic New Yorker. Lady, do you know how many people have been in here today? No, you can't go upstairs. But I came on with, you can't go upstairs. And he did like, he said, just go upstairs. Just.
And you're like, okay.
And I said, so when it works, it works. It doesn't mean it isn't sincere.
100%. You simply studied theater to make sure you were doing it right.
Well, I will tell you something. I said to Tish, I think I've known you guys, maybe 2 weeks. And I said to Tish, I looked at her, because I haven't known Tish very long, because she wasn't coming to the meetings when I started. And I looked at her, and so I told them about Udicci.TV, and I looked at her and I said, oh no, I will be part of Udicci.TV. No, I will be part of Udicci.TV. So now she says to me, remember that day? He said, no, I will be part of Udicci.TV.
The power of your words, the power of making a goal, and the power of just having fun.
That's right.
It is just fun.
Are you fighting to fly over there, Tim?
Yep.
We keep trying to capture it.
Come take me.
So anything from, so nothing from Leo on this guy yet?
Nothing yet.
Alright, well, I don't know, anything else you want to know?
I'm good.
I'm good, so let's, okay, so I guess I should end with a couple commercials here. So, again, I want to give a big shout out to, obviously, Lexington Federal Credit Union, their neighborhood cleanup event this weekend down in Joseph Avenue, 762 Joseph Avenue. And I don't think I'll ever get tired of sharing the story about Phil Coleman, who basically, really, I get it. The guy's passionate about some of his beliefs, and he was sharing them online, and he got a little bit over exuberant, if you will, online. And myself and another one of his friends kind of called him out on it, and he was such, he just manned up. He's like, absolutely. And basically said, you know what, why don't you let your actions speak louder than your words? And the guy gets out, starts picking up the trash on the streets. And you know what, I'm like, all right, if he's going to do that, then I'm going to get out and pick up the trash on the streets. And we created Team Udicci because there was no way I was keeping up with Phil. I mean, he's like, I'm going to win. He's Mr. Challenger. And then the other guy who challenged was like, I'm going to win. So I was like, look, this isn't about community. Look at that, right? This isn't about winning. It's about community. So I was like, so we'll create a team, and Christopher Williams, you're the team captain, and we got Team Udicci, and we're declaring all the points from the pickup at Joseph Avenue. So we jump ahead by megatons this weekend, and so come on out, and a big shout out to Lexington. Great job, Phil. Really, I mean, if you think about this, over the next month, we've got 3 trash pickups in our community. The Clean Sweep program, they're wonderful. They've said they'll be a part of each and every one of them. The mayor's coming out tomorrow. Saturday. What great city support. It's been a lot of work to get it to this point, but now I think we're going to be able to do these a little more often. What fun.
And just out of one person's frustration.
That's it. Out of one person who's decided to say, you know what? I'm not going to make this about everybody else. I'm going to make it about me being the solution. And, so big shout out to Phil Coleman for that. 762 Joseph Avenue, Saturday, 10 a.m. Take 1 hour for your community. Take 1 hour for your community. And maybe we'll let them begin at Udicci.TV.
Don't forget to mention Christopher Williams pickup.
Oh yeah, that's it. So we got the Voters Walk one, which we got to figure out the exact date in October. November 1st with Christopher Williams, Gamers Nostalgia. That's going to be Civics 01, where we're actually going to be asking the parents to come out, with their children, who the night before, on October 31st, should have been out in their costumes, and show up the next day, bring your kid in costume. We'll go clean another street. We'll end it over at Gamers Nostalgia, that Atari kind of Coleco arcade retro place. We'll have a day with your kids. Maybe we should get you know what? We should make grandparents bring the kids to that. Anyways, so what else?
Grandparents
Right.
don't like Chuck E. Cheese in places like
So, but while we're at Gamers Nostalgia, we're going to do a little Civics 01, kind of talk about why we vote, because the voting will be next week after that.